Hello everyone, I am here with Brother Ray. And today, mag-interview tayo at makasagot na sa ating mga inandang question. Siyempre, bago po tayo mag-start, would you please give us a brief introduction about yourself? Ilan taon na kayo sa seminary and your thoughts.
Okay. So, hello. I am Brother Hai Sung Kyun. Actually, I'm postulant Hai Sung Kyun from Seminario San Agustin, dyan sa Intramuros, Manila. I'm 20 years old and currently second year na sa formation, but I'm first year postulant. Currently studying here in UST, particularly in the Ecclesiastical Faculty of Philosophy, first year philosophy, no? So, 2 years na akong seminarian, hindi lang halata sa mukha ko.
How's the experience naman po? From dating nasa labas, then yun, papasok ng seminary. Anong
Okay.
pinaka-big difference?
Yun, magandang tanong yun. Kasi, well, yung thinking kasi natin sa seminary life is that puro dasal, closeted ang buhay, o kaya, alam mo yung parang robot na puppet. Well, hindi siya ganun. Hindi siya totally ganun. May glimpse ng ganun, pero it's not about, hindi doon umiikot ang mundo. In comparison sa mula sa labas at sa loob, syempre, mas independent ka sa labas. You can do whatever you want. Yung sa terms ko nga, pwede kang gumawa ng kasalanan, whatever you want, or whenever you want, without even thinking na, uy, may maapektuhan akong maraming tao. Well, again, seminary is a training ground. It's a human formation. So, in a simple words, seminary life is very different from life outside. And in comparing these two in my personal self, well, yeah, hindi siya ganun kamalaya, but it's not boring. It's very good. Kasi ang seminary life kasi, you are there to grow. You are there to be formed as a responsible person. Kasi you will be given something na, oh my God, kaya ko na may gagawin ka. Hindi mo naman alam na, dapat marunong ba ako nito? Pero doon kasi sa seminaryo, it's not about being marunong or matalino, but how will you immerse yourself into the formation? Kasi ang goal dito ng seminary is for you to be formed as a religious or as a priest. Or maybe, if it is not God's will, as a father. As a father. As a responsible father. Mature father. Yun.
And that's a very fruitful answer, ano? So, sa mga balak mag-seminary dyan, malay nyo, ito na yung calling nyo. Actually, that's not our very first question, pero that's a very good answer to that question po. Going back to our main topic, and we're gonna start our interview na po. For our first question is, how would you explain the concept of grace to someone unfamiliar with theological concepts, and what is its significance in your personal faith?
Oh, grace. So, actually, grace is not that so deep. Hindi naman siya ganun kalalim sa bilang isang Katoliko. Ang grasya ng Diyos, o grace, o ang grasya ng Diyos, ayan yung ibinibigay sa atin ng Diyos sa ating pamumuhay nang naaayon sa kanyang kalooban. Halimbawa, pagsisimba, pagsamba sa Diyos, hindi paggawa ng kasalanan. O sabihin na natin in a very real sense, yung pag-confess natin ang ating mga kasalanan at pag-admit natin na tayo ay nagkasala at sa pagkababaang loob. At sa kababaang loob na to, hinahayaan natin ng Diyos na siya, bilang ating Diyos, bilang Ama, bilang kataas-taasan, masunod yung kalooban niya sa atin. At dahil dito, hindi niya naman tayo pinapabayaan. In the sense na, puro tayo na lang ang bigay. God gives us everything. Everything that we see is God's grace. Everything that every lucky or every bad things, or sabihin na natin not totally the bad things, but everything that we experience is a grace. even entering in our dream university is a grace.
Mm.
That's why it is God's gift. Grace in a very simple sense, it's God's gift to us. Yun na yun. It's God's gift. God gave it to us so that we can feel God's presence in everywhere. We can feel that God is indeed with us. It doesn't need for us to have a very theological explanation because what we need is an understanding of God's grace into us. God indeed God indeed give it to us so that we can live in a holy life. Actually, marami siyang uri, pero again, it's in the very summary of everything, it's from God. Yun na yun. It's from God. God gave it to us, and we, as the creation of God, we receive it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ayan, I like that answer of yours, no? So, actually, yun nga, going back to your answer, I like yung part na sinabi mo na hindi naman very deep yung meaning niya. Actually, as is na siya, di ba? If we're going to look at it, everything we hold, everything we see, everything we feel is God's grace, which came from God's gift.
Yan naman po. For our second question is, the Bible contains stories of both immense love and profound violence. How do you reconcile these seemingly contradictory aspects within a coherent theological theory?
Well, we look at the Bible and its context. Halimbawa, example, why did God let the earth open in order for those who raped Diana? Well, in Genesis, if I recall it right, in Genesis, the sisters of the 12 sons of Jacob, they have a sister, and their sister, if I can, maybe mali ako, but in my understanding that their sister was raped. So what happened is that when Jacob's sons attacked those who raped their sister, when bumuka yung lupa, and it devoured all those who committed that sin. Another thing was that, let's see, very simple, the crossing of the Red Sea. We can say that God's people passed, but there's a consequence. The Pharaoh's army entered, and they were devoured by the sea, and well, definitely they died. We can see that in these stories, we can see the context on why did God let this happen. We do not wish, God don't wish us to die. Hindi naman niya gusto yon. Rather, hindi naman gusto ng Diyos na mapatay tayo. It is our action that made us to do so. Remember in Genesis that God never said that you will die. According to Saint Athanasius, in his De Incarnatione, he told us that it is not God's will for us to be corruptible. We are doomed to die. But in our union with God, we have already escaped that reality that we will die. So again, coming back to the question that the Bible has a very contradicting stories. So we can see that the context of every story, that every stories has its own context. Hindi natin pwedeng laging tingnan na judge na lang natin, okay, may namatay, so God did it. Masama ang Diyos kasi may pinatay siya. But rather, let us see bakit nangyari yon. Bakit puro pagmamahal, tapos bigla may mamamatay, may mabibigti, may mabubukas ang tiyan. Because it is human actions. It is our actions ourselves that made us to die. Therefore, these stories are not the ones who will scare us. Yung matatakot ka kasi namatay si ganito kasi ginano ng Diyos. Hindi yun ang pinatutungan ng bawat mensahe sa Biblia. But rather, we can witness how God's power lead us to trust to Him. Kasi it's our actions that made us to die. So therefore, these kinds of stories are made or are written because these stories are for us to be inspired on God's God's omnipotence, God's power over us. And these stories must lead us to Jesus or to God in every in a very holistic manner. These stories must lead us to God and see how His power can lead us all to salvation and can lead us all not for us to be scared of God, but rather to be fear of our Creator. Because again, He is the Creator. He created everything. But it is our action that made us to die.
Yeah. Yan. Actually, that's a very good answer, Kuya, no? Now we know kung bakit nga ba, people say na yung story sa Bible is contradicting. There is love, there is hate, there is healing, there is, reviving someone. Okay. For our next question naman po is, please describe a time when your faith was challenged and how did you navigate that challenge? What did you learn from that experience?
Hindi ko na lang sasabihin yung mga nangyari. No? So, in a summary na lang. So, matagal na kasi akong altar server. I was altar server for almost 10 years. Before entering, no? So, nung 9th year ko, doon ako pumasok. So, on all of those times, well, as a church servant, may times ka rin naman talaga na mawawala ka ng pananampalataya. Or rather, hindi mo feel yung pagsiserve. One experience was that last 2022 yon. So, I just felt na habang nagsiserve na lang ako for technical things. Like, nagsiserve na lang ako because it's liturgy. I need to learn. Pero the very essence of liturgy or the very essence on why am I serving, wala na. Parang ako na lang, nagsiserve na lang ako, tapos nakatingin na lang ako sa audience, tapos naghahanap na lang ako ng chicks. Which is totoo. Naghahanap na lang ako ng magandang babae because the place was SM Ora. It's a mall. And there's a chapel in the mall. So we can see and we can already see that may chicks sa mall. So on those times, reality-wise, wala talaga akong pananampalataya. Well, nagsiserve na lang ako, naghahanda na lang ako. Alam mo yung parang iniisip ko na lang na trabaho na lang to, pampalipas oras. But how did I redirected it? Well, everything happened, made me cry. So, again, made me, think so much, affects me. But what I did to redirect myself to bring back that faith was that to look on the past. Titingnan mo lang yung past, not because you need to endure all the mischievous and stupid things that you did, but rather to look back on God, how God let you how God, parang paano ka dinala ng Diyos sa dinami-dami na yun. Because on every moment, on every stupidity that I did, I may die. I may kill myself rather. Sorry, trigger warning. I may kill myself. I may do something that is very, very bad. On those times, Diyos ko, pwede na ako mag-i-ATS noon. Kung self-declaration lang, pwede na ako mag-i-ATS noon. But, yeah. So, on those times, how did I redirected myself was that I really trusted on God. How? When I'm very excited on something, ang ginagawa ko, tinitingnan ko muna siya. Tapos, pag feel ko talaga na hindi siya mapupunta sa akin, hinahayaan ko lang. Tapos isip ko, baka may darating pang oras para dyan. One example was that there's this one kind of event na hindi ako yung, sorry for that, hindi ako yung main character. Kasi for main character na kailangan doon. So, hindi ako yung main character. Pero sabi ko, mamalay mo sa mga susunod. Baka kailangan ko pa ng indeed na mas training para ma-attain ko yun. And lo and behold, yeah, so on those times kasi medyo nag-aano na ako bilang master of ceremony. Yung medyo intense sa liturgy yun. You will learn literally the structure of liturgy, ganito, ganyan. And nung mga panahon na yun, I'm very excited to do that. Kasi syempre, ikaw ba naman, pare, tas ikaw, syempre, pag nakita ka ng babae, may pogi naman nun, nasa katabi ni Father. But, again, those excited moments, well, I did it, may mga mali, but again, God is literally preparing me for everything. Umiiyak. Syempre, umiiyak na ako kasi ibang kaibigan ko, bakit lagi na lang sila? Bakit ako hindi? But nakita ko rin yung goodness niya because when I entered seminary, I already saw God's grace in the sense of because of those trainings that I had, even though I'm not the main character, that applied to seminary because I became a liturgy head. So again, ako na yung main character
Plano si God,
ngayon.
ano?
So ako na yung main character ngayon, pero nagsawa na rin ako maging main character. Pero in very conclusion of everything. So what I did to regain my faith was that I trusted in God. Yun lang, trust. You trust in God, you pray to God. If you already prayed it, you already let it out, yan mo na lang. Again, UST is a grace for me because it's my dream school. Akala ko talaga hindi ako papasa dito. Well, I nearly lost my faith. But yeah, everything is grace. So I redirected it by looking back at the past, thinking ano yung mga nangyari, and seeing God in those things. And I realized, God is here. God never abandoned me. It is I who abandoned God. Yun. Okay, next.
Actually, that's a very fruitful answer once again. Yun nga, parang I see it as like what you said na we should trust everything on God. And if there are times na we are, may problema tayo, we should reflect on what we did back then. Kasi iisipin ba natin kung andyan ba talaga ang Diyos? Kasi ang katotohanan, tayo ang lumalayo sa Diyos. Actually, and going sa next question, for our fourth question is, how do you understand the relationship between faith and reason, and how does this understanding shape your theological approach?
Sorry Okay. Maganda yan kasi yan ang highlight ng first year ko, faith and reason. So let us give this in not so much simple kasi medyo malalim siya, pero let's see. Faith and reason. Faith is about God, reason is about man. In revelation sense, faith is God's revelation and reason is human revelation. These two may seem to contradict each other. Bakit? Human reason is about evidences and God is about being Him, transcendent. In a very human reason sense, hindi naman natin nakikita ang Diyos, so therefore, walang Diyos. That's human reason. In faith, in our faith sense, we see God. We feel God. We serve God. We praise God. Kaya nga tayo nagsisimba. Naniniwala tayo kay Jesus. Naniniwala tayo sa mga sakramento. That's faith. So, these two don't contradict, but rather it complements each other. Because it's on God's revelation that we see that God revealed Himself. He is invisible. Hindi natin siya nakikita in our eyes, in our senses. Hindi naman natin nakikita. Kasi kung nakikita natin ang Diyos, hindi na tayo gagawa ng kasalanan, di ba? Pero gumagawa pa rin tayo ng kasalanan. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman tayo, kumbaga ano yun hindi naman tayo nakikita ng Diyos, kumbaga hindi naman ako nakikita ng nanay ko, so pwede ako gumawa ng kung ano-ano. So we see that faith, it is in a sense a theology, and reason is philosophy. We can understand the part that philosophy and theology, or faith and reason, complement each other in a sense that we can understand our faith through our reason. It is through our reason, it is on our senses that we understand that, okay, that's why God did it. That's why I believe in Him. That's why it is, the divine revelations are true. Because it is our reason who complement it, who do it. Halimbawa, faith and reason. Kumbaga, halimbawa, the body of Christ. Sabi nila, di ba, this is yung sa ostya. We can say that when He broke it, di ba kasi sabi ni Father, di ba, yung malaking yun yung body of Christ, hinati niya. So, in faith sense, naniniwala tayo na yun ay katawan ni Kristo. But in our reason, pwede tayong hindi maniwala doon. Kasi di naman si Kristo yun, in our sense. But it is our faith that believes that it is Christ. How can human reason enter there? The reason entered there was that when we see Christ, when the priest broke it, And when we believe that when Christ said that when the church teaches us that Christ is present in the Blessed Eucharist, we are in a Eucharist, so therefore, Christ is in the Eucharist. It was consecrated. Hindi nga natin nakikita yung sa pag-consecration, yung may bababa daw ng Espiritu Santo, hindi naman natin nakikita. But it is our human reason who supply us through our faith that these things, these happenings that concerns our faith is also complemented by human reason. Human reason is the very essence on why we are believing. Sa paniniwala natin sa ating kumbagay filosofiya, doon natin mas naiintindihan kung ano nga ba ang teolohiya. Ano nga ba yung pinapakita ng Diyos sa atin. Kaya nga, ang pinakaunang pinag-aaralan ng isang seminaryo ay hindi theology, philosophy. Because the church wants the seminarian to be prepared to understand fully the human reason so that the handmaid, so that the theology we can truly understand theology itself. We can truly understand theology itself in a sense that hindi naman natin pwede maintindihan agad ang teolohiya nakita ko, sabi, halimbawa, incarnation. Hindi naman natin masasabi na yung sa incarnation of God was that He was great and so high, entered into human being, and He was born of a virgin, yun lang. Hindi naman yun masusupply agad ng simple theology. As kung hindi natin kailangan ng human reason doon. Bakit? Ano yun? May something, biglang mapapasok kay Virgin Mary, tapos papanganak na agad. Si Jesus na agad yun. But rather, we can understand it in the sense that it is our human reason who gives us reason to ourselves, to supply us on why are we even believing in these kinds of things. God is incorporeal, but we still believe in God because we know that God is transcendent. That's it. Our faith and reason doesn't contradict, but rather it complements each other because it is in our faith and it is in our reason, but that we still believe. And this faith and this reason gives us, supplies us to have faith and to believe in God.
Very good answer ko yan. No? Ang pinaka-key takeaway natin for that answer is both complements each other. It doesn't contradict.
Yes.
Since one supplies the other one if you need an answer, and so on. And yun nga, ayan, last question na tayo. For our last question is, discuss a contemporary social or ethical issue such as poverty, social justice, and how your theological perspective informs your approach to addressing it.
Oy!
Madaming timely social issues ngayon. So, mamili ka na lang, Kuya.
Social issue. Ano ba? Let's think, no? Ano ba magandang contemporary social issue? Wait lang.
You need an example ba? I would give you some.
Okay lang. Okay.
Siguro ito, ang main natin today is ang pagkawala ng justice or pagkasira ng justice system dito sa Philippines.
Okay.
Sa point of view ng mga victims ng EJK.
Okay. So, no, this issue is very controversial. Yeah. So this issue is very controversial because it affects everyone. Not just to the victims, but rather to those people na nakakakita nun. So how can we, this issue of extrajudicial killing reflects on our justice system itself. Our justice system, or rather the past government of that government who started that kind of war and started that kind of killings, we can see that, we can ask, oh my God, nasaan ang Diyos doon? Nasaan ang Diyos nung may manamamatay? Nasaan ang Diyos nung si Kian de los Santos ay binabaril o bago barilin? Nasaan ang Diyos sa mga may hirap? Nasaan ang Diyos nung may panahon tayo para magsalita pero hindi tayo nagsalita? Nasaan ang Diyos nung panahong kailangan na binabastos siya? Nasaan tayo? Nasaan ang Diyos para sagutin nung sinabihan siya nung dating presidente na stupid God? Nasaan siya doon? Bakit hindi niya pinarusahan yun? Well, God indeed is just. God is just. Makatarungan ng Diyos. Hindi kasi yan all happens in natural. Natural yan, natural lahat. Kasi pag nakikita, pag alam mo yung supernatural, biglang ginalaw yung isang bagay, it will affect our sight also. Bakit? Halimbawa, sinabi ng stupid God si Duterte, biglang kumidla. Tapos sinaman si Duterte, kung sino man yon. Sino Duterte yon, hindi ko babanggitin kung sino. Halimbawa, kung sino man yung presidenteng nagsabi noon ng stupid God, again, baka tinamaan siya ng kidlat. Maaraw nun. If God intervened on that time, it will also shaken us. Bakit? Justice system or justice, again, di ba nga, in all Filipinos can be arrested in a due process. And therefore, also God, in His justice, He's already doing it. Hindi man natin totally nakikita, hindi man napopost sa Facebook, hindi man nakikita sa social media, but God is already doing what is just. And what is, kumbaga, ano yung makatarungan para sa taong nakagawa. Again, when these killings happened, mapapatanong na lang tayo, nasan ba ang Diyos? O alam kong hindi natin tinatanong yon, kumbaga ang tinatanong na lang natin, bakit ginagawa nila to? Bakit yung pag nababasa na lang natin yung mga namamatay na bata, dahil dun sa direktiba ng presidente na yon, tinawag niya ang Diyos na stupido, sinabihan niya mga obispong patayin, shoot to kill, kumbaga, you will question, ano ba naman yung kanyang pag-iisip that, again, every human life came from God. So mapapatanong, para namang nasa kanyang buhay at kamatayan ng bawat tao sa Pilipinas. But let us always look at what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? How? Again, hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na gagalaw ang Diyos in the sense na pag sinabihan agad siyang stupid, kikidlat, mamamatay agad yung nagsabi nun. Kasi kapag ganun pa lang, the moment na nag-trending yung Jesus fries, alam ko yung trend na yun yung si Papa Sausage, lahat ng nag-post nun dapat patay na ngayon. I am not saying that he deserved to die because I am not hindi ako just. Hindi ako ang hostisya. Hindi ako ang magde-decide kung dapat bang mamatay ang mga taong ganun. But rather we can say that let us not wash our hands in these kinds of things. Let us not look away when these things are happening already in front of us. God is giving us an opportunity every day to give thanks to Him. Why? First, we didn't experience it. But we shouldn't turn our blind eye on those things. Hindi naman dapat natin tinatago ang ating paningin sa mga ganun. Hinahayaan tayo sa grasya ng Diyos, hindi tayo pinatay o hindi tayo nasama doon sa mga naakusahang mamatay. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun that God is just letting us to be separated on it and that's it. No. We who are witnesses in every happenings in the history, hindi naman tayo literal yun, nung punta si Napoleon Bonaparte naman. Kumbaga, we, the witnesses of God, we are called to be witnesses of God's justice. Bakit? Lahat tayo na nanalangin sana, matapos na agad to. But, hindi dapat ganun ang sana natin. Ang sana natin ay, sana matapos ito. At indeed, after that person was, detained, arrested in an airbase in Pasay, or Pasay ba yun, or Taguig, we can already see that it is justice that is running. Nakikita naman natin yung effects. No? But we shouldn't also look like, tama yan, lahat ng nangyari sa kanya, dapat talaga yan, kasi ganito siya. Again, even the most sinful man converted. One example, if you know Saint Maria Goretti, she was raped and she died. You know her rapist? Never died. Her rapist never died on that time. But rather he was detained. But did the story ended on that way? No. Saint Maria Goretti's killer and rapist converted. He changed himself until he died. He became a brother. I don't know what order or what congregation he entered. But all I can say was that God is just. God is indeed just. Kumbaga, nakikita man natin na ngayon, wala, ayun na naman, marami na namang injustice na nangyari, ang ating napakagandang pamahalaan, napakalinis na pamahalaan, gumagawa na naman ng mga malilinis na bagay, no? Actually, sarcasm yun, baka ma-misquote nyo ako, sabihin nyo. But rather, no, ang ating napakalinis na pamahalaan ngayon, ang justice na nangyayari ngayon, wait lang, sorry.
Okay lang po.
Yung justice system natin ngayon, na oo, tama ka, bulok. But rather, let us all look on God's justice. Let us pray for this justice. That all justice, these injustices, may we attain this. May these persons who were affected attain this kind of justice that they deserve. And also to their perpetrators, may they attain that justice also. May they attain that justice that this is the right thing for you because you did it. Everything that we do, lahat ang maling ginagawa natin, may hustisya dyan. But it is on God, on how will we see or how will we face it. Because God do it. In our human will, in our human reason, or in our human will rather, it is our will. Wait lang, na-distract ako. Sorry.
Okay lang po.
Sorry. Okay, you can pakat na lang. So, it is our will, it is our will that made us to do these injustices. Hindi naman tayo puppet. Hindi naman ang Diyos may ganon, mayroon tayo sa likod, tapos gumagalaw tayo. But rather, it is our will. These injustices happen because it is the will of that president. And it's also the will of the people. It is our will. We want a drugless country. It's impossible, but we still want to do it. We want the opposition to be silenced. It's impossible, but we need to do it. But again, killing is bad. Doing bad things is bad. It's injustice. Because injustice has its consequences. Injustices have its justice. According to the Bible, I don't know if that's in the Bible, sorry, but rather in our breviary, it said that just is the Lord, in justice He delights. This justice system, bulok man, but wag naman nating hugasan ng ating kamay sapagkat tayo rin ay nakakagawa ng mali. Nakagawa rin tayo ng inhustisya. Hindi nga lang ganun sa inhustisyang ginagawa ng mga gumawa nun. Hindi man dun sa extent that we can kill. Because all of us can kill. But it's our will, it's our moral conscience that say na, uy, bawal yan, mali yan. So again, this justice system, bulok man, or justice system ng buong mundo ay bulok man, we should turn our cases to God. We should pray for this justice to be attained at mangyari man talaga kung ano ang tunay. Lumabas nawa ang katotohanan ng Diyos, ang hustisya, gagawin niya ang lahat. Gagawin niya ito upang makita natin na ang Diyos ay gumagalaw para sa atin. Again, in my final words, just is the Lord, in justice He delights. Justice, we may not attain it now, but sooner or later, we may attain this justice in a very sense or in a very way that we don't expect. Because it is God who will do it for us. And as long as we trust in God. In this justice, may we trust God. In these injustices, we may trust God. So that in these injustices and justices, we can see that God Himself is truly moving for us. Because He is moving. He's literally everywhere. So in this moving, we can say that God already saw it. Hindi tulog ang Diyos, hindi nakapagkita ng Diyos. But rather, nakikita to ng Diyos. And in justice, we can see that God will give the justice to those who cry for it. And everything that we do, there is justice. And everything that we do bad, there is justice. And everything is just. God is just, God is justice. That's it.
Thank you for that answer, Kuya, no? I have learned a lot. And I hope our viewers learned a lot. And that would be all po. Thank you for your input to my questions. And sana nasagot din yung mga questions sa mga viewers natin. So, yun lang, Kuya. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Bri! So, ayun, tumulong ako sa mga estudyante mo. And salamat din sa mga estudyante mo dahil syempre, nailabas ko yung mga utak-utak ko. Pasensya na sa mga sagot ko. Patawarin mo na sila kung sakali mang may mali ako na isagot. Pero, Fry, I love you. Tapos yung ano ko Holy Week Study Edition ko baka meron ka.